If you take H2 Math, functions is a very easy chapter, but there is a lot of weird questions that usually come out in functions, and this is one of those very weird questions that I'm going to be covering on this channel and sharing with you all the weird questions and how to solve them in every single video. So over here, if you take a look at this question, how do we find out what is gx, right? We know that fg is a composite function, and we know that f is x plus 1. So the whole idea is that if we put g into f, right, if we put something into this x over here, we'll get x squared plus 2x plus 7, right? And it's not as simple as just taking x plus 1 times something to give me x squared plus 2x plus 7 to find out what is g, right? This is absolutely wrong, because what we are doing is that we are putting g into f and we are not multiplying g to f, right? There are two different things. So how do we exactly find out what is gx in a very systematic way instead of just guessing it, right? And this is something that I teach all my maths tuition center students at A1 Math Academy how to do it in less than 1 minute in the exams. So what you got to do is to realize that from fx, since fx is a one-to-one function, we can find out the f inverse, right? And f inverse x over here will just be x minus 1, right? Over here, realize that for this equation over here, we can technically bring the f to the other side, and that will actually give me gx equals to f inverse x squared plus 2x plus 7. And that is where we realize that we now take x squared plus 2x plus 7 and put it as an input into f inverse x, and that's how we eventually end up with x squared plus 2x plus 7 minus 1, right? And that's how you end up with x squared plus 2x plus 6 as the final answer to this question over here. Now I chose a very simple example to show you how to find g, but best believe that this technique will always work regardless of whatever equation that comes out. And it makes sense, right? Because if you put this into here, you'll get x squared plus 2x plus 6 plus 1, which eventually gives you x squared plus 2x plus 7 as the final answer, right? So this is a very simplistic example, but best believe that it works regardless of whatever function you're given, right? And I hope that this simple example brought the point across so that you'll be able to get that full marks every single time you take a functions paper. And if you want more tricks, more tips that I learned across the many past few years to help you in your H2 Math journey, watch this video next to find out how you can get access to all of them. So if you're struggling to understand your JC concepts, be if you're in J1 or J2, we all know that H2 Math can be very difficult, especially when your school goes through the concept very quickly, and in the end you're just forced to learn everything by yourself. But fret not, because what I've done is that I've created an entire resource, a whole library to teach you the H2 Math syllabus from scratch. As you can see over here, I've literally filmed a course for every single chapter, so from sequences and series all the way until the end, which is your correlation and regression, right? The last topic in J2. So for all 16 chapters in your H2 Math syllabus, I filmed a course for every single chapter. And for example, if we take a look at sequences and series, what I've done is that I've broken down every single chapter into modular portions again, right? So for the first part over here, under learning objectives and learning materials and resources, what you can do is you can download all of my handwritten notes that I've created for this chapter and also just use it for your own revision. Apart from that, I teach every single chapter from scratch again. So for instance, let's say the definitions of sequences and series, right? This is the first concept. I literally go through in depth over here and teach you the concept from scratch. And not only that, but you will also be able to get hands-on practice with my guided approach through showing you how to tackle the usual type of questions that usually come up for exams, as you can see over here, right? So I go through every single question in depth, go through every single question in detail so that you will know how to tackle these type of questions in the exam situation, right? So I don't just give you the answer, I give you my thought process as well. And I basically do this for every single chapter in the H2 Math syllabus. So if you want to get your hands on this resource, it's super helpful in helping you to really get crystal clear on what it is that you need to learn in your syllabus and what are things that you can ignore so that you don't waste time. And if you want more information about this library, be if you're in J1 or J2 or even a private candidate, this resource will help you in your revision, and you can literally self-study the whole subject all by yourself just by referring to this. For more information about this library, I'll send the number on the screen over here, and I'll send you more details about the library as well as more information about our premium 24/7 turnaround marking service that we provide for all library subscribers. I look forward to seeing you on WhatsApp over here.